some information we got to get to. We're going to get to that after a reminder that FanDuel is America's #1 sportsbook. And right now, new customers can bet just $5. And if that $5 bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. So are you ready to play? If you are, download the FanDuel app right now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That is FanDuel.com/UCSS to place your first $5 bet. We don't often get to react to news live on this show because Kevin Stefanski talks before. But Kevin Stefanski was asked about the Joe Flacco trade and the quarterback 2 situation. I'm going to read you 2 separate tweets from 2 separate beat reporters, and you could interpret this however you want. First, from Zach Jackson. I'll read you the entire tweet from Zach. Stefanski on the Flacco trade took us by surprise. They called us. Happened very fast. On this weekend's quarterback 2, quote, still working through all roster type things with young players. I'm always mindful of their development. Let the week play out and make a decision later on. Mary Kay tweeted, Kevin Stefanski will wait until later this week to decide if Shedeur Sanders will be the quarterback number 2 against Pittsburgh.
Now let's kick the can down the road, and then if he ends up being number 2 and ends up playing, we'll have the whole narrative that we had with DTR about he had no time to get ready. You make the decision today. Well, if he's number 2, he at least gets a fair shake to prepare all week as number 2.
It's hard to give the Browns any benefit of the doubt, so I don't know that I can. However, it's possible he has already told those guys who the backup is. He just doesn't want to tell the media.
Okay. Well, so
which is silly.
It's silly.
But I guess it's
again
possible.
no transparency with the organization.
What benefit, Bull, to that point? What benefit does it give the Browns from a competitive standpoint to hide the backup quarterback who will not play unless something happens?
He just doesn't like giving straight answers.
No, he doesn't. He never does.
Why would you wait? That doesn't make any sense.
I figured he was going to kick the can down the road on this.
That doesn't make any sense.
No, it does not. I don't get it.
He just doesn't help him. Like, listen.
He sounds like an idiot.
He doesn't help himself out. Help yourself out, Kev, bro. Like, stand on your business. If you're going to say he either going to be the backup quarterback or he ain't, like, just stand on it, right? So it gives people an opportunity in your locker room to rally around, do what you need to do, and get ready. Like, you don't, it does you no good to be up here talking in riddles when, look, bro, people, that's human nature is, I will follow you as long as you got something concise that I know that your word is your word. I'm going to roll with you, what you going to do.
I've become a big fan of Dan Campbell for that very reason. Dan Campbell, he just calls it what it is.
Jay, one sec. I want to read one more. This is a quote from Mary Kay, or quoting Mary Kay from Kevin Stefanski's press conference. Kevin Stefanski says he has to do what's best for the players as well as the teams. They've said numerous times they're trying to develop Shedeur Sanders intentionally. Take that however you want.
That told us nothing new, Mike. I mean,
because he said that before.
The messenger.
Reading between the lines, Bailey Zappi sounds like he's going to be the backup quarterback.
Yeah, I would say the same thing because in 2 different quotes, he specifically went out of his way to say, I'm very mindful of how we develop young players. Yep. That means he's priming the well to announce Shedeur as the number 3. And that quote, too. You're right. He's leading us to the water, and we can drink it.
I mean, unless we're just misinterpreting what he's saying.
Right.
That's the way it sounds to me.
But you know what? If that's your decision, stand on it. Like you said, come out and say, look, I know people are clamoring to see Shedeur. There's time for that. The time isn't now. We're going to keep him at number 3. We're paying a great deal of attention to how we're developing him. It would be unfair to him and his teammates to put him out there if we don't think he's ready. So hold your horses on it. It's coming, but not today. But no, instead he's speaking in code.
Now, in fairness, if he said that, every single Shedeur Sanders fan would still be angry.
No. Listen,
who cares?
No. Listen.
Well, he cares. You're telling him to say, I know people want to play.
No. I'm just asking him. I'm asking him to be Listen, we talk about this leadership and maturity stuff. Now, we just talked about Shedeur Sanders and things he do that's immature and blah, 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 and he needs to do this. Man, listen, Kevin Stefanski, you the head coach. You've been here 6 years. Call what you gonna call. You said if you want Bailey Zappi to be the backup quarterback, say, listen, we got a plan. I'm gonna stick to the plan. I want Bailey Zappi to be the quarterback because X, Y, and Z, and this is what we're going to do moving forward in terms of Shedeur Sanders. But the problem is, when you are lukewarm, you wishy-washy, and you don't have a strong message what that does, it does not give your team a good feeling about what you're doing.
I'll agree with that.
And so now you open yourself up for criticism when you don't need it. You just don't. And now this week, the conversation will be, well, what's going to happen? Is he giving Shedeur an audition, or is Bailey Zappi ready? Is he going to be getting reps? This is the problem I had to start with, Bull. He didn't even have to come out and say 4-quarterback competition. Right. He could have just said, we got 2 young guys, we're going to develop them. We would have never been here. But guess what? This is what they do. This is how they move.
It's frustrating. I don't think he cares what we think. I don't think he cares what the fans think.
No, he doesn't.
But for us, it's frustrating. For the fans, it's frustrating. You want to have some answers. You want to know what's going on. And when you don't get it's not like if you admit who the backup quarterback is, there's some sort of disadvantage for, against your opponent. Like, I could understand if on some level, the gamesmanship of not announcing a starting quarterback, but to not announce the backup, there's no gamesmanship there, right? I mean, what is the point?
No, because do you think Pittsburgh is sitting there going, we need to know, is the backup going to be Shedeur, or how are we supposed to prepare for this game if we don't know who the backup? Right. They don't care. They don't care.
It's crazy. And let me just get this out here. In my opinion, listen, either way, Shedeur is going to play this year, right?
I think we all agree on that.
Whatever week it's going to be, it don't pay me no matter of mine. I don't care if it's tomorrow, next week, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, I'm speaking towards a larger, bigger picture. When you got situations and when you've been hearing about your coaching staff, and this is the evaluation we get, and DTR twice says he didn't know he was playing, and we go crazy about it, it's like, then you come back in this situation, it's about learning from your mistakes, Jay. Like, hey, listen, we were terrible with messaging with other quarterbacks. We didn't know what was going on. Remember the situation where they kept putting Deshaun Watson, it was his shoulder, we gonna put him out this week, is he gonna be practicing?
Right, we didn't know.
And it's like, dude, just stand on your business and live with it. I want to follow a person that's a man and just stand on what their business is. And if I can agree with it, if I can't, I can't.
There are situations where you're saying you don't know and you really don't know.
Sure,
right?
I don't know. It's a game time decision. We're going to wait and see. But in that situation, if it's a game time decision, the way I've always lived my life is I always prepare for the worst. I'm always for what's the worst case scenario? When I make decisions, okay, this could happen or this could happen. What's the worst thing that could happen? You prepare for the worst. And if it doesn't happen, you're over prepared. But when you roll DTR out on a week when we all knew that Deshaun was moment by moment,
right,
and then you tell him 45 before the game that it's you, that's on you. I mean, you got to prepare for him that you're not going to have him. That way, if you have him, it's a pleasant surprise. But if you don't, and you've known all week there's a chance he won't be ready, he's ready for it. So that's the only time a coach could actually really say, we don't know.
And I'm sure, there's other teams where these things happen, but when you lose as often as the Browns and you screw up as often as the Browns, you're not going to get any grace there.
Yeah,
just
no benefit of the doubt.
Bill Belichick could say nothing, but the fans don't care because he wins.
Yeah, except
he doesn't win anymore, but
he's lost that benefit of the doubt in North Carolina. All right, so I guess we'll find out Sunday at 12:30.
The whole thing's just crazy. And it's just another example of why it's hard to trust anybody in this organization, including Kevin Stefanski. It feels like they're lacking leadership on this team.
Feels?
Well, I mean,
the proof is in the pudding.
There's no leadership on players or coaches, nothing.
I want all you guys to respond to this. Can we put up the very first quote panel from Stefanski today? I wanted you to respond to the idea that Kevin basically, this is the way I'm hearing it, and sometimes tonation has an impact on what the coach's intent was.
Yeah.
But when I read
the Zach Jackson one,
we were surprised it all happened so fast.
Oh, yeah, that part.
I want to get your guys' reaction to that. I have a reaction to it, but I'm curious to see what you guys say.
I think when he's saying it took us by surprise, he's just saying that
I think they're just
Bengals
shocked
just
that anybody called him for Joe Flacco.
Oh, okay, that's the way you see it?
Yeah, well, what do you
take? It took us by surprise. The Bengals called up and said, "Hey, we want a guy that you're not going to play."
Yeah. And the Bengals don't make a lot of trades either. It's
Browns are like, yes, thank you.
I think I didn't watch much of the Bengals Sunday, but I saw the highlights, and I thought, man, if Cincinnati isn't burning up the phones today to get a veteran quarterback in there, they're crazy.
The funny thing is, Browning played so well 2 years ago when Burrow
I know
got
he
hurt.
did.
I don't
he
know
was
what
awesome.
happened.
And now he looks like an absolute dumpster fire.
But I don't know. But Flacco looks so terrible too. I don't know why they didn't go after Jameis Winston or somebody that like.
Jameis would have been, I think, a better
option.
option.
He's a lot younger.
Now hold on. Now
maybe the Giants
I would've
just
taken
said
Russell
no
Wilson.
because
Now
the
hold
Giants'
on.
quarterback situation right now is kind of crazy too.
So I want to get people on the right. Now if he go, now you saying Flacco not that good, right? But if Flacco go out there and put some, if he look good, bull, what are we taking from that?
That's an indictment.
Well, it's what I was trying to get Leroy to answer, but he said my comment was blasphemous. My point in the whole question to Leroy is, will we learn something if he has success in Cincy but not in Cleveland? To me, I know the offensive line is the key. No one preaches that more than me. The game is won at the point of impact. It's won at the line of scrimmage.
But both teams have bad offensive
lines.
lines.
Both teams have bad offensive lines.
And the Bengals have better receivers.
So if he goes out and balls out with Cincinnati, what it tells me is you can have a couple of really good receivers and it can overcome a bad offensive line. Yeah. Especially in today's game where it's drop, throw. Drop, throw.
And the one thing that the Bengals, because I actually think the Browns' offensive line is a little better than the Bengals.
You do?
Yeah, the Bengals' offensive line, which I thought would be improved this year, it really isn't. But the one spot where the Bengals are a lot better than the Browns is at left tackle. That's the one position, and that's Flacco's blind side. So maybe.
What I'm going to see, I'm anxious to look at the style of play.
He has to throw the football too.
He does,
and that's critical.
We've
got nobody to throw the football to that plays wide receiver.
You got receivers.
We got tight ends.
If I want to look at the style of play, I want to see
what they do.
I want to see if Joe Flacco is starting to just throwing the ball over the middle 15 to 25 yards in coverage, I'm going to say, well, what the heck? Like what?
That's an indictment on Stefanski.
Like he was checked down Charlie this year, right? For us. Like I'm not going to sit here and act like it's night and day because they do have T. Higgins and they do have Jamar Chase and they do have Brown and they got.
So their guys will get separation. They'll be open.
They got some things, right? But we go back. Here's the thing, and I always talk about that. Right, the way earlier in the conversation we talked about backup quarterback with the quarterback number 2. Me and Dustin both played football, right? Right. Dustin played at a higher level than I did, right? But at least Dustin could sit here and articulate why he feels like I'm not gonna put Shedeur Sanders in a football game, right? And we may disagree with that, right? But at least he is able to stand on his rationale and say, this is why I'm moving that way. And even if I disagree with him, at least you could come to some sort of conversation and I can see eye to eye because I believe there's rationale and conviction behind what he's saying is why he's not doing it. The point I'm making here is, like, players will understand if you got some conviction and you at least can explain what it is that you feel. We might not agree all the time, but at least he's standing on it. And it's a blind spot for this organization because I feel that they can get more out. If you want to see what preparation is and you want to get the best out of the rest of the guys around you, then tell them. Let them be guys that can be advocates for you. Let them buy into what you're saying and put it on them a little bit. But if you vague, can you imagine you're going into Pittsburgh? Ain't nothing about Pittsburgh wishy-washy. They gonna try to come in there and break they foot off you know where. They about to play. They not playing with y'all. So what you need to do, you need to get people together. The last thing you don't want is people in the locker room and the defensive end whispering to each other. I don't know what the heck they got. They got Zappy playing. You know what happened last time with Baker? They didn't even block TJ Watt. Remember on Sunday night? They left him out there to die. All that type of stuff that goes into your buy-in. And so for me, if Kevin Stefanski would just do a better job of saying, hey, I'm coaching the way I want to do it and I'm going to move this way, at least you could disagree with him. But people at least couldn't say that you didn't stand on business. I think there's an opportunity to do that. We'll see what he does on Sunday.
I wonder if he's going to even announce it at all until Sunday.
He'll have to.
They'd have to.
Yeah. Before kickoff, we'll have to know.
You'd have to elevate him from the practice squad by Saturday.
I think it is Saturday 5, something like that.
Like
Saturday
that, yeah.
evening, I always feel like is when we get that news.
Yeah. So we'll know if they don't elevate him by Saturday, but we'll see if. I wouldn't be surprised if they announce something tomorrow or the next day. The players aren't in on Tuesday, right?
No.
No, players are not in Tuesday.
Isn't it possible? Like, was Stefanski speaking before they practiced, Mike, or after?
It's before practice, but after meetings. So,
all right, I guess it's possible he hadn't had a chance to sit down with Sanders yet. Maybe.
No, I'm not buying that.
Yeah, he could have pulled him inside and said, "Listen, I'm going to go tell the media. Well, I just want to tell you first." Because he would absolutely tell Shedeur before he tells us.
Shedeur did an interview at a car station yesterday. I think Fox 8 had him one-on-one.
At a what station?
It was a car
at a car shop.
Oh.
And they asked him about the Flacco trade and what his role is, and I mean, it's not like Stefanski couldn't have called him on Tuesday even after that, said, "Hey, Shedeur, it's your time," or Bailey, "It's your time."
Right.
Maybe they wanted.
I didn't see that interview. What did he say? Anything of note?
No. Yeah, I mean, he just said Flacco is a great man. It was like he gave a good answer. It wasn't anything.
Right.
Nope. I mean, it wasn't noteworthy, which is good.
Seen it.
Yeah. It is possible that they wanted to think about it for a few hours before they made the decision. I mean, that is possible. Now they should know by today. But I'm saying they maybe I know I'm grasping at straws.
Yeah.
By the way, I heard in Deion Sanders' press conference yesterday.
I heard that.
They asked him about the Flacco trade, and he was like, "I don't care."
I don't give a damn.
But I do love me some Shedeur Sanders.
I don't give a damn about the Browns,
that.
but I do love me some Shedeur Sanders.